Hello, Zion here. Today is another Fakemon video where I talk about some creatures I came up with. Lately, as things have been warming up, the city I live in has been resuming its construction projects and reminded me of some Fakemon designs I ought to revisit. So today will be all about some industrious crabs I've come up with. So sit back, cue up your rave music, and let's get to it. First up is Safeticone. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but that's kind of the point. It's trying to be unassuming, trying to stay hidden in plain sight. Safeticone itself is based on hermit crabs primarily, but also the image of traffic cones scuttling around to sit in place. I feel it's such an admired yet underused concept. Anyways, Safeticone is one of the originals, one of the first few that made it to digital, and its first design managed to convey the initial concept, but wasn't the greatest. So its second design aimed to give it at least a bit more personality, or that "leave me alone or I'll shiv ya" vibe. I aim to give Safeticone a bit more personality with this take though, so I hope that it truly conveys what I wanted from it. Tell me what you think. Safeticones are very shy, hiding under traffic cones for a very conspicuous form of protection. Workers will have Safeticones to use as though they were normal traffic cones, telling them where to sit still and create a barricade, which they don't really mind one bit. Up next is Hermicone. Now, this one might honestly be one of my favorite designs so far, but he looks like a foreman. Anyways, Hermicone is based more on the idea of what traffic cones are supposed to do: alert people that they should not go or drive in said direction. So what better method to be a living barricade? Hermicone, like many of my Fakemon, have gone through many iterations, and yeah, its first design was lacking. I honestly don't think I even liked it when I first made it. Regardless, its first redesign was, oh my god, by far one of my favorite designs. It was perfect.
Everything, down to the last minute details.
I love this design. It conveys the idea of the concept so well, and it's honestly a little bland. A lot of negative space and uneven proportions that feel inexplicable, which in truth isn't so bad by Pokemon standards, but I like my design to have a bit of something going on here and there. So, in my latest take on Hermicone, I opted to make it like a real hermit crab and give it some varying patterns on its body to make it stand out more, with it being a living barricade and all. Hermicone, the barrel Pokemon. Hermicone are proud territorial workers, vigilantly standing guard around their territory or designated areas. This Pokemon has formed a mutual bond with the workers around the region, serving as a living barricade in exchange for food and safety. Okay, now with the ground types down, we have our electric type crabs. And up first we have Magcrab, a little crustacean with claws that act as magnets. While not directly based on crabs, Magcrab takes on many traits from other crustaceans, like the tail of a lobster and the antennae of a shrimp, while keeping that frontal scuttling look that crabs have. I'm still on the fence about making it a dual type with steel because of the implications of being metallic in its design and the whole magnet thing, but let me know what you guys think. Anyways, Magcrab was originally called Magnacean, and honestly its design didn't change much from its first design to its second take, which I opted to stick with for the time being. I'm fine with its appearance. It gives a similar grumpy vibe to Safeticone that I feel is great for such a crabby Pokemon. So, to keep things fresh, I gave Magcrab a new coat of paint to match my more recent designs, adjusting the shading and palette a little to give it a more complete and coherent look. Magcrab, the grabber Pokemon. Many people find that Magcrab are very curious as they tend to steal metal objects and hoard them in their dens. Their dens are known to cause strong magnetic disruptions due to the excessive presence of electromagnetic currents caused by the surplus of metals. Alright, next is another banger of a design, Magnacean. Whew, yeah, I love this guy. I mean, look at this thing, an absolute unit of a crustacean, with claws that look like they could crush anything. As for the design itself, I didn't pick any one crustacean to base Magnacean off of either. I drew mostly from a lobster, but it still has some elements from shrimp and other non-crab crustaceans. Otherwise though, I do love this look. I'd say it intentionally rivals in Hermicone for another favorite of mine among the designs in this video. Magnacean's first design was alright, like Magcrab or Magni. It captured the essence of the concept well, it just lacked certain details and depth I wanted to see. So in my second take I aim to give it more, and more I did give. So like the first Magcrab redesign, I opted to keep the proportions in line work and give it a new coat of paint, adjusting interesting shading choices, and giving Magnacean some well-deserved attention. Magnacean, the grabber Pokemon. Few Magnacean are found in the wild, being found mostly within big factories or industrial complexes. Their pincers can generate enough magnetic force to pull a freight train, and with their strength, they can lift it well above their head. Alright, I'd say that's about it for today's video. Let me just toss out these old designs real quick. Okay, Lastly, we have Canada. Not quite a crab at first glance, but I assure you, this goober has taken quite a few elements from crabs and their relatives, most notably its legs. Anyways, Canada here is definitely one of my preferred newer designs. Like Nightshy from the last video, it kinda discards some conventional Pokemon design philosophies to fit its thematic a bit better. Canada's original design was, I don't even, it was so trash. Just a trash can with eyes and little crab legs. While it was rendered well and gave the right vibe of a living trash can mimic thing, it was just so plain and basic. Something I wanted to change, especially since this thing is supposed to hunt Trubbish. So I got to figuring out how it should be a mimic. Should it lure? Should it sit still? Should it run? Oh boy. Yeah. Again, deciding to deviate a little from Game Freak's design philosophy, I opted to make it more arachnid-like than a crab. And while that does technically mean it's not really based off of a crab, they're still bug-like beings, so it works. Kinda. Canister, the disposer Pokemon. Canister have an insatiable appetite. With strong acids in its stomach, it is capable of digesting anything it can fit in its mouth. Canister often hunt Trubbish, though are just as often driven away by Gobodor, which it can't eat due to their size. Okay, now that's everything. Thanks for watching this video about an artist who loves to draw little critters. So, let me know which of these you would have on your team, or if there are any changes you, yes you, would like to make to my latest designs. As always, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video.